the Kremlin is getting very. It seems like the Kremlin is getting very offensive in their attacks, and I don't know. There's some strange stuff going on right now, and it's a little disturbing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so speaking of those attacks, he says, why does the Mueller team have 13 hardened Democrats, some big crooked Hillary supporters, and 0 Republicans? Another Dem recently added, does anyone think this is fair? And yet there is no collusions. Yet there is no collusion, he goes on to say. Spent very little time with Andrew McCabe, but he never took notes when he was with me. I don't believe he made memos except to help his own agenda, probably at a later date. Same with lying James Comey. Can we call them fake memos? Wow. Watch Comey lie under oath to Senator G. I don't know who that is.
I guess Grassley.
Okay. Have you ever been an anonymous source or known someone else to be an anonymous source? He strongly said never no. He lied as shown clearly on Fox and Friends, so I'm sure that that's definitely very true. And then those are his tweets this morning. Just want to put you back onto point with them. But there is the thing he did. Did he place sanctions on Russia this week, or has he still not done that? I do believe he has.
He did. He basically put sanctions on the people and organizations that Mueller indicted.
Okay, so yeah, and those were not the sanctions recommended by the House and Senate that were passed.
Correct. Well, I mean, I think well, they are part of that, and the administration says there's more sanctions to come that are related to that, which we haven't seen yet. But the legislation also required the Trump administration to come up with a list of what they believe were sanctionable people and organizations within Russia, and they came up with the list by looking at a list of rich people in the world or in Russia from Forbes magazine. So it was, and there was a real list kicking around inside the executive branch, but Mnuchin decided not to use that. He came up with this different list. So it's all very strange.
Mm-hmm. From Forbes magazine, which is quite odd. So anyway, yeah. He also tweeted early on Saturday morning, Andrew McCabe should be fired. Andrew McCabe fired, a great day for hard-working men and women of the FBI. A great day for democracy, which is probably stretching a little bit too far. Sanctimonious James Comey was his boss and made McCabe look like a choir boy. He knew all about lies and corruption going on at the highest levels in the FBI. Pretty much, again, it sounds like it's coming here direct from Sean Hannity's mouth, it seems, which is very strange and kind of quite prevalent there. But his firing, though, which was recommended by the FBI Office that handles discipline, stems from the Justice Department Inspector General investigation that found McCabe authorized the disclosure of sensitive information to the media, as you said before, about a Clinton-related case here. This is Washington Post reporting this. McCabe, who conducted interviews with several media outlets in advance of his firing but declined to do so with the Washington Post, said in his statement he was being singled out and treated this way because of the role he played, the actions he took, and the events he witnessed when the president fired Comey as FBI director. So that's apparently he pinpointed a area that they were specifically worried about there. But also the thing I want to ask you is, like, what should we look for down the road from the president? What are you most worried about seeing from the president down the road in terms of his interactions with McCabe or any other high-up people in the FBI?
Well, he's certainly ratcheting up the rhetoric in his tweets, and so the fear is that he's going to probably, fire Rosenstein. There's the Nunez memo that came out that said there were all these, this FISA abuse, which was kind of vague and not really supported by the memo, but the idea that there are abuses are floating around in the media and in the country, and this gives him a pretense to fire Rosenstein, because Rosenstein was one of the people who signed off on an extension for the surveillance on Carter Page. And of course, once Rosenstein is gone, then they can put in a new deputy attorney general who could end the Mueller investigation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is the main point, and those attacks probably are going to reinstate demands to by the Democrats, or reinforce demands to put some extra emphasis on the Mueller investigation, trying maybe to protect it here. But now to Andrew McCabe, who has obviously lost out on a good portion of his pension. Democrats right now are flooding Andrew McCabe with federal job offers to save his pension. For example, Mark Pocan on Saturday extended a federal job offer to McCabe, who has worked at the FBI for 21 years. Pocan wants McCabe to work with his office on election security. Should McCabe accept the offer, Pocan said in a statement, it will allow the FBI official to reach the length of service he needs to retire and collect his pension, estimated at $600,000 a year, which is, $60,000 a year that would be. And that still is a great deal above what average Americans make. And I do get the feeling he'll be fine either way. He says, Pocan says in Twitter, Andrew, call me. I got a great job offering for you. McCabe, Trump accused McCabe of having a political bias in favor of Hillary Clinton, but on the other end, Jamie Raskin offered McCabe a position in his office as special senior staff attorney assisting the House Judiciary Committee, while Representative Luis V. Gutierrez told McCabe to call him on Monday for a federal job. Seth Moulton of Massachusetts told the Boston Globe he'd consider hiring the former FBI official, and a former federal official familiar with the retirement rules told the Washington Post McCabe's federal job offers, even the rules lasted only a few days, could save his pension benefits. So, so he looks like he could be in better shape. And, I don't really care whether he gets his pensions or not. It's not really a big deal to me, because I, as someone who's kind of more a liberal who remembers where liberals were on the FBI back in 2013 when they're doing all this kind of surveillance stuff, and especially the intelligence community, say, let's slow down with all this FBI loving, but it's not really too big of a deal to me whether he gets his pensions or not. What's your take about it?
Yeah, I agree. That's sort of secondary, but just the idea that they would be taken away at the last second makes the Trump administration look very bad and very petty and vindictive, and there just isn't enough evidence to support all that vindictiveness. Besides, the president has made a huge fuss over McCabe. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I don't know. The problem is that most Americans aren't, paying enough attention to all these details. They just hear the headlines, and they just see that this guy was fired and he did something wrong, and if you do something wrong, then you should be fired. That kind of thing. So, I agree that the pension thing, it would be nice if he was being treated unfairly. And again, we don't have the details of the Inspector General's report. It's possible that he did do something worse than is currently being reported, and maybe he deserved to be fired. The Inspector General, even though he's a political appointee, he was a holdover from the Obama administration. So, he's not someone who was handpicked by Donald Trump and will do his bidding. But if the Inspector General did get pressure from Jeff Sessions, say, he might have been manipulated to some extent. It remains to be seen.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be very interesting, and I'm sure we will find the true details about this McCabe firing out eventually. All right, we're going to have to take a quick break. Coming up, we will have more about what is going on with Trump and his interactions with Mueller, how he's handling this Russian investigation, and a strange story concerning Facebook and Cambridge Analytica, the data analysis site. That'll be coming up. So stay with us on Newsflash 1 year anniversary. Happy birthday show. This is the Spencer Walsh Radio Network. Your show will return in just 4 minutes.
Pendo on the beat.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to today's show. My name is Spencer Walsh.